Hello, everyone. This is Sharonda, and this is my podcast as well as my YouTube channel, Spiritual Sense. So, this will be airing on tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and do my light and dark reading. So, I've already said my prayer and and everything. So, we're going to go ahead and get into the reading for today. Again, this is my light and dark reading. So, I'd like to mention that this podcast as well as this YouTube channel is for entertainment, informational, and sometimes educational purposes. So we're going to go ahead and get into the read. I do have a new camera set up here, so everything is kind of I'm not able to adjust. It has a wide angle or what have you. So hopefully you'll be able to see what it is that I'm doing. Okay. All right. So we're going to do a let's see. What are we going to do? I think I'll do a three card. I'm gonna do a three card. I had to adjust it to where you can see or what have you. All right. One, two, and three. Okay, dokie. So, let's pull out the three cards. Hopefully, you should be able to see my three cards. Let's see if I'm able to adjust it. All right, let's put them here. Okay, dokie. All right. So I have to see how to adjust my cards. Let's see. To where I can adjust the parameters of the camera. So I'm gonna have to look to see how to do that. Okay. So hopefully you're able to view the cards. If I pulled it up a little bit, that'll help out as well. Like taking the camera and adjusting it this way. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so that helps quite a bit. Even though it's still kind of spaced out, it helps out quite a bit. All right. Okay. So the first card I have here, and again, this podcast as well as this YouTube is for entertainment purposes. That means it's optional. Okay. So the first card I have here is strife. Um, I have stress, conflict, and instability. Oftentimes, when I get a lot of negative energy that presents out, it's in relation to something. Medically, something could be going on with me. I need to drink or whatever, what have you. So, and when I say drink, increase my fluids is what I mean. And watch what I'm eating, get a little bit activity in, or whatever the case may be. So, what is this strife? I have the number 5 there again, stressed, conflict, and instability. We have completion. 4, completion. Um, 4 mentions comfort, stability, and determination. The next card I have here is Queen of Dis, the matriarch. The matriarch. So I want to say that this right here is somebody who may be having some health concerns. Maybe an older person that's having. I watched a couple of YouTubes um, episodes regarding. I typically, watch a lot of either psychic or true crime type of YouTube podcasting and everything, and somehow got the sensibility about the case with Shamquilla, I think her last name. Can't think of the last name right offhand. The one that went to Mexico and the friends turned on her, and it's just like she relented, and then she ended up dying from a broken spinal cord injury, which was a horrible thing to have occurred. So, can we honestly say what that was? Well, I had got my spiritual sense as to what I felt that was, but of course, I am not a psychic detective nor authorized to do those type of cases, you know. But can we honestly say that it was something health related that was used to cover up? So I want to get into. Let me tell you what sensibility I got from watching that podcast. The sensibility that I got was about spirit channeling and conjuring up energies because I had this to occur with me um, some years ago. So I do know that it is real. And I think, in my opinion, even though no one has asked my opinion, but I'm going to give my opinion, that was the situation which occurred with this person. That's what I feel. Similar to what I mentioned about the rapture and how you'll begin to see spirit on people and how it will manifest and people will turn like kind of like within the twinkle of an eye. So I do feel as though that was the situation that occurred. In my personal opinion with that. So this is the light read, and I'm going to get to the root of the issue regarding. So I don't know. I just got this sensibility yesterday, and it was like something was affecting my heart, and my breathing was kind of labored, and then I was prompted to, navigate to this particular episode, which had been on my, my within my suggestions or recommendations search for about a week or so. But I just somehow I was prompted to watch it on yesterday. So oftentimes this is how I will get kind of like a sensibility of something. But in my opinion, I felt as though it was a cover up. Just saying. All right, but so this right here is in relation to strife and completion, and I have the matriarch, which is the queen of disc. Um, and disc, such as like a record or records, similar to like like some documents or something over the sort. That's I'm going to actually say that this possibly is what this reading is on, but no one has endorsed me to speak about this. No one has asked me to speak about this. It was just a situation as it came up into the feed because I'm not one of those people who I don't know. So I'm only going off of perception. Okay. But saying that to say, I think this relates to like records, which relates to like documents, and it was something that was covered up. What I don't know. I have strike here, completion. Um, I don't know if it was a little bit of jealousy that was going on, and it has the matriarch here, an older person. Could that older person be a mother, grandmother, or somebody like you was able to get something that I was not able to get? And hear me well. I'm not one of those people that are quick to throw that word around jealousy because you will find oftentimes um, people will cover things up to deceive you. So I'm not one of those that's quick to throw around the word jealousy. But when I begin to understand jealousy in terms of survival and living and life, yeah. So something lets me know there's a little bit of jealousy going on in this situation. I'm not going to say who it is. But I just mentioned earlier, if you've been, paying attention, that this is what the reading possibly could be on. Because I don't like to do specific readings. I just don't. I don't. All right, the next one. Let's get a little bit about love. But I show completion here, like somebody completed something or somebody accomplished something, and it was revealed that the person really could care less about what you completed. If that makes any sense to anybody, like say for instance, oftentimes people will go and pursue their dreams or what they think their dreams are, and I think what happened with this person was the people was not that receptive, if that makes any sense, as she wanted them to be. And she herself felt as though, okay, well, they, as people always say, oh, they hated on me and this and another. But then when it became apparent to this person why it broke the will ambition, it was like, okay, gosh, I feel so foolish. Something lets me know shame. And why do I feel this way? Because I had an incident that happened. I went into my bathroom after having, the maintenance people come to scrape for bugs. And I had not felt any shame. And all of a sudden I felt shame, like shame came over me or what have you. So a lot of times we could be shielded in our, and this was right before I did spiritual shield. A lot of times we could be shielded into thinking a certain way, our perception can be a little bit off. And then when things hit the fan, it's like, oh my gosh. But this right here is more than just shame or embarrassment. This is in the soul. Like seeing it a one way, and then when it all comes into focus for you, it's very disheartening. And I think this is what the situation that occurred with this person. It's very disheartening situation. Like I honestly feel as though this person transitioned by way of a broken heart. If that makes any sense to anybody, a broken heart. A broken heart is as I have used the term or the catchphrase, heart pill to swallow. You can't handle the truth. Yeah, when some things hit the fan and the writing is on the wall, you have to, there are situations where, and I have had it happen to me many times, not many times, but less than 10 times in my lifetime, where I'm driving, God has me in a trance, and it's like, focus on this. And that's essentially what I feel in terms of this situation. Like what you had in your head that was not what it was. Similar to like having a life review or an epiphany. I think this person had what they refer to as an epiphany. And oftentimes when people have accepted it for what it is, it's like, okay, kind of like the movie Exhale. All right. So let's get a little bit about love. What does the love mentions? What does the love mentions? All right, let's pull this out. Let's pull this out. I hate that you're not able to see me pull my cards out on camera, and I do bear with me with that. Okay. Again, this podcast and YouTube is for entertainment purposes. Alrighty. Abundance, clock, and mirror. Okay. So if you're able to view, I hate that this thing cannot be adjusted to where you can see it to where it don't go down some. I really do. All right. So the abundance card mentions keep a positive mindset, manifest exactly what you want, gratitude, bliss. I feel as though this person was like in bliss. It's not necessarily that this person I hate to use the word naive because that's not appropriate in this situation. But it's like when you are in a state of you're in some type of state, and when it all hits the fan, it's like, oh my god, it's heart wrenching. I had no earthly idea if that makes any sense to anybody. I feel as though something lets me know that was what this person was experiencing. I have a clock here, lead time, time cycles, and time to heal progress. I honestly feel as though this person, um, kind of like a biological clock, where things began to manifest within this person. Something lets me know that this person was visited by a spirit. If that lets if that makes any sense. And what does that mean? Well, we may refer to it as a biological clock or whatever the case may be, but I do feel as though um, spiritually something happened with this person prior to this happening. It could very well be 5 years prior to it happening, and the person had already been forewarned. Is the point by that happening? I think this person did not let anybody know, if that makes any sense to you. They kept it to themselves. The next card I have is mirror. Mirroring each other's self-image relationship reflect our wounds introspectionally. I honestly feel as though um, this mirroring or introspection was such as that, where you begin to, keep having these feelings of nostalgia, keep having these feelings, or keep having these emotions, keep seeing images of the past, the way things were some time ago, and things of that nature. And it kept, re-manifesting itself back and over again, over and over again, over and over again in this person's mind. This is what it feels like to when there's an epiphany about a spiritual transition to ensue. It's what I feel. Okay. So I honestly feel as though this is what this person was experiencing. So they had in turn what made how can I get it? Some people begin to prepare themselves way prior to it happening. Is what I feel. All right. So let's get a little let's get uh okay. So we have okay. All right. So the Asia card comes up um in this reading with this person. I don't know what the ties to Asia is. Um but I think this person began to take on some changes themselves. Like it wasn't just a situation of okay, revelation came by way of others. I believe others was able to see it in this person as well. So this is not just a one way street. If that makes any sense to anybody, I honestly feel as though as this person seen, it was seen in this person as well. If that makes sense to you. The next card I have is forgiveness. This person had to forgive themselves because once I believe they was able to see, as they say, the grass is green on the other side or how things really were. Um, that's when it became very disheartening to them. Is what I feel. There could very well, and let me pull this up. There could very well be, and I really like this camera. I like the images of it, but it's just the focus. Um, there could very well be something this person did that they was unhappy about. I don't know if it was that. termination of a pregnancy or um, and I don't know this person's business like that. I don't know if it was something that this person did that they kept to themselves and they kept it on the inside. And that in turn helped to facilitate this transition because of feeling some type of way about doing it, feeling judged about doing it. I have Libra traveling right here, so I think that in turn helped to perpetuate a lot of that energy as well. And I'm just going based on the cards. All right, now we're going to go ahead. We're going to get the thoughts, faith, and belief for the Celtic cards. For this reading, for time purposes, I'm just going to pull two of these. I'm not going to pull out a whole lot of these Celtic. I'm only going to pull three, but I'm just going to do two there. And I was intending for this to, but I forgot and I hit the live button. I was intending for this to show up on uh, tomorrow, but who knows? All right, so the next card I have, excuse me, Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. I honestly feel as though, believe me, hear me well. Whoever this person is, I don't know, but there's a matriarch. That could be a mother-like figure, or what have you. Um, with this here, I have the infinite. What goes around comes around. I believe this is something that it was. You know how you will hear people say death is on somebody, or you may see a death angel, a death spirit, and you may hear people speak like that. And as I mentioned, I feel as though this is what this card represent right here, because something lets me know it was a death angel. It was a curse that was preyed upon this person. Is what I feel. It was preyed upon her mother as well as her grandmother. It's a generational curse. It's a commonality. And I think this card here is a representation of that. Like the present, I'm sorry, the past, the present, and the future. That's what I feel. Like she was the future. Her mother was the present, and then the grandmother or matriarch was the past, which is a death angel, angel of death, if that makes sense to you. And you have to learn how you can move that spirit, because it's a spirit. The death angel is a spirit. It's an actual energy force. It's not in your mind. For those who may have been at the brink of death, who can see it and know what that is, it's not in your mind. And I'm not being facetious, because oftentimes you'll find people when you speak about anything related to divinity or the Bible, whatever, they'll begin to taunt and act foolish. And Portuguese like. Um, some things is laughable, what have you, but in situations when it comes to death, it's not laughable. It's not. Um, but I feel as though kind of similar to the movie the Final Destination, where there's like an art or some type of maze, as you can see, like this maze here. Similar to like a um when that spirit comes around, you'll know how to divert that spirit, because God will put them in such a motion to where you will see it before it manifests itself. So that's what that was, I feel. Um, and this person had got a little bit of self-absorbed, as we all will when we feel as though we are on our A game, and the reality had to come into focus for them why you was allowed or afforded those things from the job, because many people could see it as well. Okay. Um, And as you see, these right here, I call them my thoughts, faith, and belief cards. They are my Celtic cards. As you see the little tinker bells around. We do have two, which is unity, balance, and partnership. So again, I feel as though, many people are able to see this with this person. I think there was an illumination with this person. Oftentimes, you'll see enchantment when there's something significant about a person. If you just sit around, a little while, God will reveal it to you. You may not know exactly right off, but you'll know something is a little off. I refer to it as enchantment. It's like a glycerin or a glitter around. Words just can't explain it. So you kind of like wonder what that is, and God will put you in motion to where you will get it. Now, the Pentacles relates to material aspects of life, career, finances, business, and possession. So I think it was. Um, will I say that this person was sought up? Well, I'm not going to necessarily say that this person was sought up, but some people are. This person was not a naive person. I don't feel, but this person had a little bit of stubbornness, as we all will. So I'm not going to sit here and say this person was sought up. Some things you just can't tell to people because they begin to. Um, because I do feel as though there is a little bit of jealousy there, but because of gossip and putting that out, if something happens to this person, because God will show it to you, I think that's His way of you need to hush. Because if something happens to this person, the first thing they will say is you had something to do with it. If that makes any sense to whoever is out there, okay. Now the next card I have here is what? Five of Swords. Five of Swords. So you see how these people, these on this card, you see the sun in the horizon, and like in the woods, and then you see this right here running away, and then this here. Five of Swords. Um, so we have stress, conflict, instability. Swords relates to the mind and the intellect, action, knowledge, power, and change. So you know, look, I'm going to tell you that I felt that this person was prepared for that transition. That's what I feel. I'm just going to be honest about it. I think they prepared this person for this transition, is what I feel. If that makes any sense to anybody. Yeah. All right. So let's go to. Let's get a little bit about family history. What is the significance of family history? It was something in relation to some documents, I feel. Let me study this card because it's going to tell me. Yeah, it was something regarding some documents and some funds, is what I feel. And oversight about how monies are obtained and whatnot. And I'm just going to put it out there. I'm just going to put it out there. All right, so the next card I have is this. I want to say that's the Sun card real quick. And I'm not going to be on here too much long. I do have where I get to the nitty gritty. So after this, going to do the life's purpose, healing oracle, and angel card. I'm not going to do my soul truth card because I still have to do or read my dark cards for my dark reading, which is going to be very brief. So we're going to bring this to the close within the next 15 minutes. Let's go down to the Sun card here, which is a major arcana card. Let's go down to the Sun card. Something keeps me with heart, like something in relation to a heart and something in relation to female related. So yeah, and that's just off of perception, my intuition. Whether it's right or not, I don't know. Because I don't like putting people's personal business out there because that's not my business or my concern to do that. And I really don't like giving you know focus readings like that. All right, let's go. But once you have begun to summon that energy, you will begin to feel for what's going on. And once you realize what it is that you are experiencing, this is God letting you know what it is. That's your intuition. Okay, that is your intuition. All right. So I want to say this is the sun card, but let me go down just a moment. See, oftentimes, in the cycle of life, you will begin to see that you are a reenactment of something from your parents' past or whoever passed. And a lot of times people won't, they'll sit back and say, okay, is this mockery? Like, is this because of somebody's listening in? Or is this actually God? And you'll begin to see the difference. Like, is these things happening because of a curiosity? Or is this truly God? Or is this somebody playing? You will find that there it could be a situation of empath, or is it somebody from the outside looking in? You know what? This is actually not the sun card. What card is this? Okay, let's go down. This is not the sun card. You'll begin to wonder what is really going on. I want to say that's 24. Let's go to 24. Card 24. So because I had that card with the three, um, you know, this person, the mother and grandmother, I think that was a message to give you a synopsis about perhaps a generational curse, if that makes any sense. Um, so the Temperance cards, it says the genes of the two urns, initiative letter number 50. If N equals 50 and expresses the perpetual movement of life in the divine world. In the intellectual world, it is the combination of ideas that create moral life. In the physical world, it is the combination of the forces of nature. Son of Earth, consult your strengths not to treat in front of obstacles, but to use them slowly, like water that falls drop by drop and erodes the hardest stone. This person was being monitored, and you're going to find that when you are in a biblical or church setting, and this is not a biblical nor religious podcast, so I want that to be known. Oftentimes, when you gravitate to certain settings, you have to be very careful as to where you go because wherever you go follows you, monitor you, and God will show you. It's done under the spirit. It's done without thought. So, say for instance, if you have a lot of people who may have some mental challenges that gravitates to the church setting, okay? If you go into those settings, you are something fresh and new. So you may be presented with characters on a consistent basis, particularly if there are some challenges going on. And if they could formulate a commonality between you and that person, oftentimes you will see that as well. Okay. So with this temperance card, the positive says moderation, harmony, serenity, capacity to adapt, happy transformation, holiday repose, healthy diversion, thaumaturgical virtues, positive magnetism, recovery, transfusion of vital force. So again, I honestly feel as though this person had prepared themselves for this transition. Is in my opinion, based on these cards, based on presumption or what have you. This person had made a preparation. Like this person, once that epiphany came to this person, okay. So it's not like it was just boom, instantaneous. As we oftentimes we feel when we hear about a traumatic spiritual transition or death or whatever the case may be. I do believe this person um, had some foresight or precognition prior to, and many of us will. The next one I have, speaking about negative, this is what I feel as though this person was gravitating to this person because, hi, as I mentioned, um, I feel as though there was a little bit of cover up in terms of what was told. What that cover up was, well, something shows me, in just in presumption, that possibly financial, as we all know, but it's a little bit more deeper. Again, I have the matriarch card here. Um, and when I say finances, I'm talking about obtaining the financing and how certain monies are obtained, if that makes sense. So it says assesses for assesses of all types. So it was a lot of splurge and it was a lot of possibly, I don't know, a lot of, I think it was some sparkles around. I think the person began to see in the spiritual sense, and those who have the eyes to see were able to see it as well. And a spiritual enchantment, if you may. There was a lot of enchantment around. Anxiety, impatience, um, um, I think it began to turn on this person because this person turned and they turned with the person, if that makes sense to you. Wrong choices, incapacity to adapt, tensions, frustration, strong dislikes, opposition, and confusion. So I do believe the person had a spiritual. How can I refer to it? Like a renewal when things you once felt or were no longer, and the person they did not know exactly what it was. You understand? Like when you haven't been around long enough to know exactly what that is. So we would take it for face value versus what it truly is. Yeah. I think certain things that you eat, foods you eat, certain things that you take, certain places you go, if you are confused and don't understand, it will perpetuate it within you. And you are picking up on energies of something somewhere. That's what I feel. So I do think it was a cover up as such. I honestly feel as though what this person was doing is telling on what the comments about of what helped to facilitate this spiritual transition. I don't know if COVID is a factor and what um shot, if this person even received a shot that they got, because it's going to tell on whoever put that energy and invested into that particular one is something significant with that. That's why oftentimes you have multiple different medications. By people are not so forthright as to how they are attaining um, their product. If that makes any sense. So if you go and patronize a product that is not a quote God, or you are not in agreement with what will represent itself, and that's God giving you sensibility. Okay, yeah, I may need to leave that alone, right? Because ultimately we'll call it one thing, but you'll see that it'll manifest as something else, if that makes sense to you. Like we're saying is this, but in all actuality, this is really what it is. Okay. Now let's get your practice. Polish your skills and practicing regularly. So practice in this matter was, I think it was a bad something lets me know it was some superficiality surrounding it. Like, how can I put it? Something just didn't seem real is what it lets me know. And it was like a front. I don't know what that means. Somebody would know what that means. Something was a front is what I'm tapping into. It was like a front. It was like a setup, like a front. And and as a result, those energies came in, and this is why this transpired. Because it wasn't authentic. There was no realism in it. Okay? Alrighty. Let's get the next card. Healing Oracle. Healing Oracle. Healing Oracle. Yeah, something lets me know it was a front, a new opening. So I think it was awareness that was coming in. Something lets me know that it's something higher than what is being presented. It was some spiritual entity set this up is what I feel. A spiritual entity. And I'm gonna just keep it at that. A new opening. When one door closes, I am confident another one will open, and it will be for my betterment, and accept that life brings challenges and acknowledge the opportunity and learning they present to me. Serenity comes from within. So I honestly feel as though um, this person, shame was brought upon this person for something that they had done. And because of this, this was set up to put it out. Don't bring this into this. Because this is not the type of situation we are dealing with. And it was a covert federal operation, I feel, to set this person up. And all of the players came in suit. That's what I feel. If you want my honest opinion. And you're gonna find oftentimes it occurs over and over again. So in a situation such as this, who would give a damn about something like this? Who would wonder and give a damn? Who feelings are mostly involved in a situation? Well, based on this, I'm going to tell you that who's the hit dog? You know, who's the one who's yelling the loudest? Who is the one yelling the loudest in this situation? That's going to tell you what it is. So I have the matriarch card show up here. So I'm going to say whoever that matriarch is. Um, matriarch is, grandmother, great grandmother, or what have you. I have mother, great grandmother, mother, grandmother, great grandmother. That's what this card is a representation of. So whatever significance in their lives is to tell on this. So like I said, you got to realize that there are energies and spirits out here. Um, you know, all of those characters or spirits, I like to refer to them as, excuse me, in the biblical text, are looking to collect, expose, take you away from a space and place. It happened many times ago. It continues to perpetuates itself. And sometimes you're not able to tell a person everything that life holds. They just have to learn on their own. We know it's something, but we can't just verbally tell you exactly what it is. So I cannot necessarily say that this person that I felt as though this person was set up, but I think a lot of things was we withheld from this person. If that makes any sense, they knew it was something, but they just couldn't come forth right and say what it was. If that makes sense to anybody, I have divine order. So again, it lets me know that this was divine order. This was divine order. That means some things are just going to happen. That's just the way life works. You know, whether you bang your head up against the wall, whether you know, some things in life are just going to happen. Okay. I do believe that there was some, you know, as I mentioned, some spiritual entities. I think this transition is to enlighten people how um, the government works, how church work, how um, you know, international law and going on other lands work, and to provide and shed awareness about that. Because a lot of people don't are not aware of, you know, certain ways of conducting oneself or certain standards and things of that nature. So it mentions Archangel Raphael. Everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see underlying order. So I do believe that this person, something lets me know with this practice card showing up here, something was not real. Something about it was not real. Um, about this situation. It was a little flaky, a little flakiness, a little phoniness, if that makes any sense. Something was not real. And I think once that revelation came to this person, they felt very disheartened because they felt foolish, is what it lets me know. They felt foolish, but it was not real. It was real, but it wasn't authentic, if that makes sense to anybody. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to get to the demon. What is the negative, dark energy, the demon out of this situation? Okay. Well, let's let's proceed. All right. So I'm just going to pull out of these cards here, and I'm going to pull. Let's see. Let's pull out one and two. Uh oh. So should I include those since I flipped it up? I guess I will. I guess I will include them as well. Why not? All right. There was something right here. I got this right here in relation to works. In relation to works, it really wasn't no works. If that makes any sense, like it was a front. I don't know if this person, you know. I saw where it said mentioned something about the person um, had you know, business, whatever. It was a front. It was a front, and I think a lot of that entailed. I think a lot of that entailed the demise. Is what it lets me know. It was a front. It was a front, and then I have this card here turned upside down, or what have you. Um, think this person was, um, not to tell this person business because this is just presumption. I don't know. I didn't, I'm not really into, look a lot of information on certain cases because I don't want to speak anything out that I don't really know. But based on this person, to me came across as being a little bit of narcissistic, a little bit of um, it's all about me, if that makes any sense. I have Ace of Swords here. Ace of Swords. So the cards relates to the mind and intellect, action, knowledge, power, and change. Um, yeah. So I showed that there was um this person that according to this may have had a sharp tongue and said something to the wrong person. Is what it lets me know. May have said some out the way to the wrong person. I'm going to say that over this situation, we're going to pull out four of these dark cards. We're going to pull out four of the negative demon demonic cards. I think this was a case where this person said the wrong thing to the right person, and that energy took flight. So it lets me know. You saw one people, but it was essentially it was those were spirits, and you'll begin to see how the desires of someone can be perpetuated by others. Is what I'm trying to get you to see. It takes getting into that spirituality to get that. You'll begin to see that how the power of, as they say, you can speak life and death in the power of the tongue. That is the truth. That is the truth, and I think this what the case was. So can we say that this actually came from the matriarch? Like something happened with this person, and they spoke a curse on this person, and it manifested within your eyes. I think that's what it was. It was speaking prophecy. That was what it let me know. I'm gonna put out four demons card, negative cards is what I'm going to do. All right, so the King of Swords, Eligos, 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 reveals knowledge of forthcoming battles and procures the favor of lords and kings. So I honestly feel as though this matriarch spoke that into existence is what it lets me know based on the card. Spoke it into existence. So can I honestly say that this so-called matriarch sought this person up, and that I think this it was spirit. That's what I believe. I do believe it's a curse that comes the angel of death, and you got to be able to realize it and recognize it and deter it away. And because this person had got beside themselves and said something out the way, because I have this Ace of Swords card here, said something out the way, and it pulled in that spirit of death. It welcomed the death angel. That's what I feel. And is to show how negative energy and forces can be perpetuated out into the atmosphere because God is going to put it in you. It's just channeled through you. So I don't necessarily feel as though this person was set up or they. I think in the heat of passion of something that transpired with this whoever this person is, they spoke it, but they didn't. The intent wasn't there. it was the angel of death by way of God. If that makes sense to anybody. Like we all say some things in the heat of passion that we don't necessarily mean. And you may say it over and over again because I've said some things to my children out of anger, but I don't think, just put it this way, I don't think the intent, oh, yeah, yeah, come on over here and, yeah, when she get down there, no, 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 no. The angel of death is a spirit, and you will see it come around in all forms. And when you recognize it, you got to learn how to divert it away. Okay, and so by being in the company of people who are superficial, mean spirited, arrogant, closed minded, ignorant, it will help perpetuate those curses out. Because death is going to happen to us all. That's just the way life works. So I'm not going to necessarily say that this person was set up, but I think they refrained from saying something. So can we honestly say that one is one and the same, one more worse than the other? Well, it just depends on how you look at it. If I take out a gun and point it at you and say I'm going to shoot you and shoot, okay. But if I know somebody's about to come and kill you, would we say that that's just as bad as the other? Okay. So the next card that I have, Five of Wands, Agares. If you're able to view that card, Agares. Now, five relates to stress, conflict, instability. Wands relates to willpower, life force, passion, creativity, ego, and personality. I also feel as though it was something that transpired, whether it was an argument, a disagreement, or whatever the case may be. Finances come up, but I don't think it's something in relation to documents. Financial documents is what it lets me know. So I don't know. It may not necessarily. It could very well be in terms of or regarding owing debts and money or what have you. Who knows? All right, so I have teaches languages, causes earthquakes, overthrows politicians or clergymen, returns those who have run away. So, what does that? What teaches languages, causes earthquakes, overthrows politicians or clergymen, returns those who have run away. So, I think these are character destroyers, is what that is. Character destroyers. I'm going to honestly feel as though I believe this person was being watched, as I mentioned. And I think you have certain energies who can hear from certain entities. That's what I feel. And one of those individuals was such as that. Can hear from a different perspective, a different energy. And they were being followed, is what I feel. But it was done by way of spirit. Um, just by spirit, by the heart, if that makes sense. Not somebody calling somebody on the phone and say, okay, now go on down there and get them. No. And I'm not trying to say that to be funny. I'm being realistic in what I mentioned, okay? So I have three of swords. We have Rom. Three relates to groups expansion and expression. Again, swords relates to the mind and intellect, action, knowledge, power, and change. So it says it steals treasures. If you're able to view, let me put this up some. Steals treasures from kings, destroys cities and the dignities of men, tells of things, past, present, and future, causes love between friends and foes. Um, so I'm going to tell you that um and getting this card here, this is God, I feel. I don't feel as though the emphasis was so much on finances was a part of it, but I don't think it's that the main issue. Some things in life are just going to happen, and I feel as though that is basically what that representation of that is. Because I think and just put it this way, when the heart is not right, and I'm not judging this person. Some things are already set in stone, so you will walk your. It's kind of like just like walking into the middle of the highway or street. You will be enchanted when it's that time to go. Is the point. So there's a message behind this whole situation, is what it lets me know. So these energies are presumptive. They pick up on it. It's done without thought, if that makes sense. This is what they do. We have been ingrained in this mode or phase. So this person just simply walked into a lion's den, if that makes sense, or a portal or what have you. Because this is what this energy space does. And and it is to show you, if a person knew, it would not have walked into this situation. So it's to tell on I guess the sensibility that I'm getting at is, when you be careful when you say you know something, because you will be tested on what you know and don't know. So don't make claim on something that you think you know, because you got the energies that's going to send you right there to say, okay, now what you think that is, because you will forever find that. So I think this was a situation such as that. Now the next card I have here, I have Two of Pentacles, Amon. Well, two relates to unity, balance, and partnerships. So they wanted to know, okay, well, if this person says that they are da 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 da, okay, I want you to prove that you are that. So who would sit back and wonder about something like that? Well, could have been somebody in terms of shady business practices or attitude, or something financial going on. Could be very well been this person was on an audit, like auditors. Something told me earlier part of this reading, auditors. Auditors. Pentacles relates to material aspects of life, career, finances, business, and possession. So the next card I have is reveals the past and the future, reconciles friends and enemies. So again, I think this card here, the Amon, here is such as that. Someone is doing a revelation of what you did from the past and the present, and to see what produced this fruit. So that's what I mean when I say that. Now let's go ahead and pull out one of my moon cards, and then we'll do my moonology card. And we're going to bring this to a close. Okay, so it mentions uh, the back moon, 19, relaxed energy. As I mentioned, I feel as though this person was under scrutiny by the feds. I'm just going to put it out there. This person was under scrutiny by the feds, and a lot of people was um, a little bit of anxious. It has relaxed energy here, but I feel as though that was deception to set this person up. I don't want to seem like I'm talking out of both sides of my neck. I'm not saying set this person up. I mean to get this person prepared, if that makes sense. All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to proceed to, let's get the moonology card. All righty. It also led me on that this person had the wrong perception of this town or this region, and that was a help to be a part of that as well. If that makes any sense. Like, say for instance, if you say something negatively about a group of people. See, I have this right here as well that to show up. But this right here just showed me this is why this card is in here. If you speak negatively about somebody's culture, or you have said something out of the way. I said it was the matriarch. I do believe that was as well, but saying something about one's culture, and then boom, this is going to show you why you don't gossip and speak against people, because God sees it and hears it, and you'll be what, a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I think that had a lot to do with it as well. All right, so it says a fiery climax approaches full moon in Aries. So let's look up the significance of Aries. Now, the Aries um, mentions courageous, passionate, direct, naive, aggressive, egotistical, rules the house of self. So I'm gonna pull up the houses, and let me see if I'm able. Over an hour doing this podcast today. Podcast. All right, so okay, so the Aries, the significance is between March 21st and 19th is what we have here for um, Aries, which is a fire sign. It says it's ruled by Mars and symbolized by the ram. Aries is associated with the spring equinox and the beginning of the astrological calendar, is what I have indicated here. Let's go down to the first house. Bear with me just a moment. Yeah, so I think something lets me know that they was being followed and monitored by some energies, is what it lets me know, and um, they became spooked and reacted um, as well, if that makes sense. So it mentions that the first house begins the zodiac and covers all of the first impressions, the self and appearance, leadership, new initiatives, fresh starts and beginnings. The sign on the cusp or starting edge of this house is referred to as rising sign or ascendant. So I think, as I mentioned before, I think this person was not. I mean, it was done by way of God to bring some attention toward a situation. Um, if that makes sense to anybody, divine order. In other words, divine order. Some things are just going to happen, and you have to be very careful about the things you do. Is what I feel. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude this episode of Spiritual Sense doing the light and dark reading. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you're more than welcome to comment below. Until then, have a safe and wonderful day. Good day.